welcome to the Tokumei podcast. I am your host today, Anime for Days, also known as Lucy. And this week, I would say co-host. However, I'm going to be interviewing Kenty this week. Kentina Star. Hello, Kenty. Welcome to the podcast, everyone. Yeah, so this week we're going to be doing a interview with Kenty, kind of like what we did the week before I think I went on holiday.
Yes.
So,
This will be our third deep dive, which is exciting in a way.
Yeah.
So, I think we put people off long enough, so I guess we should let people know what
who Kenty really is. The deep dive into Kenty. I keep saying into Kenty, and it just sounds completely wrong. It's like,
if it's you, I mean,
But do you want to introduce yourself to everyone that doesn't know you, say?
I think there's a lot of people who don't know me, but for the people who do or don't, I am Kentina Star. I am a variety streamer. I stream all kinds of anime type games. I don't play really a lot of the popular games because I'm just a weirdo, but I like my anime games and JRPGs, and I play a lot with my friends, and I just like having fun and chilling. I drink a lot of green tea. I'm very lewd. I say labia a lot, probably a little too much. And I just like comfy, good vibes, you know?
Hey, yo, let's go.
Yeah.
Stretching from that, how did you get into VTubing? Or how did you get into streaming? Let's start with that.
I started streaming, I would say back in 2013. Because it was one of the newest things that was coming about, and I tried to dabble in it a little bit, but I didn't really know how to do it, and I thought it was a lot more complicated because I was more of a YouTuber at the time. So I only had the YouTuber mindset of how to make videos. So the idea of streaming and setting up a camera and setting up, bit rates and all this other stuff that goes into streaming was just oh my god, this is a nightmare. So I didn't really do it a lot. I only did it off and on. If I was playing a JRPG that I didn't want to I wanted to play, but I wanted to make content as B-roll for YouTube and stuff like that. So I never was really into it until VTubing became a thing. And the first, person I think we all seen was Kentina. And, I saw her and I was just oh man, that's so cool. That's so cool that she has this whole avatar, that she's talking. But I really didn't think too much of it because it was it felt like such a foreign concept at the time. It was just oh, that's cool. It's just this robotic person talking. That's what I thought, at the first. I thought it was just a robotic person talking. Almost like a Miku thing. But as more of I started to look into it and more VTubers started to come out, I learned that it's not. It's people in a way, but they're they have this persona that they're portraying, that they have this character that they're playing as a VTuber. And I was just yo, that's so cool. That'd be dope to do it. But I didn't really know how to go about it at the time. And it wasn't until I would say a few months later, Momo, who's also in EVZ with me, came out and had a VTuber model. And I was because me and Momo's been friends for a while, for a good year or two now. And so I would always just be in their stream occasionally, and then one day I came in and they were a VTuber. I'm yo, what the heck? And so I hounded them after stream, and I was how did this happen? What did you do? What programs did you use? And they were oh, I'm using I think VTube Studio wasn't a thing at the time. I think it was PR Live that people were using at the time. And so I was okay. I was so do you need your own model? Do they come pre-built? Is there models you can use and stuff? And it was oh no, you have to get a whole new model, you have to get it rigged. I'm I don't even know what that means. But so I tried to figure it out. But so I didn't really understand the live 2D aspect of it. So like one thing that really got me more into it is that I was more involved with VR chat. I started to get more associated with VR chat.
Yeah.
And on VR chat, I saw a lot of people would have their own models in a similar way of VTuber, but just like 3D in VR chat. And I was like, oh man, that'd be cool. I think that'd be a lot easier to do than a 2D. And like I can like learn how to do it myself. And like there was a model I found on VR chat that I wanted to use prematurely for my like debut and like as a VTuber and stuff. And I tried to figure out how to go about like purchasing that avatar, but I never really figured it out. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'll make my own. So I learned. I downloaded. What is it? What? Damn it! What's this program?
Is it Vroid Studio?
Vroid. Thank you.
Yeah.
Vroid, and I learned how to make my own model and how to calibrate it through Unity and all that stuff to like make it work. At first, she was like super tall. She had her boobs was like outrageous and like and like other stuff. And like I guess this one little secret. I think I told this many times before, but I'll tell it again for the sake of the story. Is that the only reason why I have white hair is because I didn't know how to change my hair color. From the white color.
You have mentioned that.
So that's the only reason why I have white hair today. So like I was like, you know, fuck it. I'm just gonna have white hair. I can't figure it out. Because I found the hairstyle that I wanted, which is this one. Yeah. Which is the hairstyle I have. And I added it in and I was going to change the color. I didn't know what color to add it to at the time. I think it was either going to be like blue or green or some odd word color or something like that. But I couldn't figure it out, so it was just white. So I was like, you know what, my hair is just white. And then I chose my color scheme based off where I'm from, which is Pittsburgh, and which is Pennsylvania, in the States. If you didn't know, I'm from the United States. Not that I'm very proud of it. But anyway, that's another story for another day. So I based it off of that. So that's why my color scheme is gold and black, because the Pittsburgh colors are gold and black. And then I just went from there. So then I was a VTuber. Well, I wouldn't say I was an actual VTuber yet. I just had a model for a while, and I was in VR chat, being a model and stuff like that. And then after a while, from that point, I started like really learning what VTuber was. So I like made a Twitter under the name Kentina Star, which is, I guess, a variation of my actual name. I'm not going to say what it is, but it was a variation of my actual last name of, you know, so Kentina and then Star, because I always thought of me as a guiding star to people.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Because people always like to tell me, even though I don't like to believe it, but some people like to say that I have a way of attracting people.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So I was just like, you know, Star. So Kentina Star was my name, and I made sure to get on everything. So then after that point, I was known as Kentina Star. I started trying to make new friends in VTubing, and then I learned more about it and how to go about it. And then I took the plunge. For a while, I pondered on the fact, like, should I do 2D? Should I go for it? Because it was, like, really expensive. And definitely. A little bit out of my budget at the time. And I was like, you know, but, you know, I was just like, man, I don't know. I really want to do it because it seems so much fun. It seems like a enjoyable time to just be your own character, to have this lore, to not worry about fucking cameras and makeup and all this other stuff. And plus, it just seemed like it was such a fresh of breath air just to like be this character, in a sense. And plus, I was not really happy with my YouTube channel currently anyway. I felt so lonely too at the time. You know, I felt so lonely. I didn't really, like, even though I knew people, I didn't really have a lot of friends, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have a lot of people that I could stream with, that I could play games with all the time, that I could do like podcasts like this with, and like I felt very lonely. So I took the step to do VTubing to literally make friends. And
Oh, really? Is that
that
the
was
reason why you wanted to become a VTuber, or what was the reason that
yes.
you wanted to
The
be?
reason why I became a VTuber initially was to make friends,
Yeah.
and because I was bored and I was lonely and I needed I wanted friends and I wanted people to like hang out with and
Yeah.
play games and stuff. And initially, I mean, because it was fun and I was interested into it, but that was like the initial thing about it. But so
Yeah.
I did make my model. But at first, I wasn't even a human. I mean, I wasn't a fox. I was just a human at the
Oh,
time.
really? I actually was going to ask you, what made you want to be a fox?
Um,
Well, were you a fox deer at the start, or were you
no,
just a
I was
fox?
just a normal fox. Well, I was a normal human, but then I met Oracle and Coco, who I thought was super cute and adorable, and I love their fox aesthetic. And I always love foxes. Foxes is my favorite animal. And I was like, you know what? That sounds cool. I think I do want to be a fox. Why would I want to be a human? That sounds boring.
Yeah.
I'm already that already. And
Yeah.
so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna. When I went to go from 3D to 2D, I went for the plunge to be a fox
Ooh,
VTuber.
yeah.
And so then I became the Fox TV tuber. I got my 2D model. I decided this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just jump into it. I'm gonna take the risk because I feels like it's worth it. Which it was. And then I finally got my model, but I didn't really actually debut. I just kind of just showed up with my model.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, I have a 2D model. And it's, I don't know what to do about it, but like, this is me now. And
Yeah.
and then from that point, I just continued streaming, kept learning how to stream, how to be comfortable streaming, the difference between YouTube and like Twitch, that it's like a marathon and not a race.
Oh, yeah.
And then, and I guess a year and so later, here I am.
Oh, damn. Yeah, that's insane.
And then I guess later on, I was like, I was like, oh man, it'd be cool to have antlers. Because I saw Hurricane. I'm pretty sure you know Hurricane.
Yes, I do. I do.
The deer. I think she's a deer, but people call her a moose, but I think she's a deer. And then I was like, oh damn, I think it would be pretty hot to have antlers. Antlers seem pretty cool. And
Yeah.
for other reasons to have antlers. Nothing unsafe about it at all. And then one day at first I asked like everyone else, my friends, and like, would it be weird to have antlers as a fox? Because like that's not really a thing. But I wanted to be more unique in that fact, because one thing that I think this is one of the problems what hurts me most when it comes to streaming as well, is because I don't like following trends too much.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And so if like there's a lot of people doing one initial thing, then it makes me not want to do it, and I kind of like do the opposite of something so I can be more unique in that fact.
I was gonna say,
So-
yeah, it's a more unique concept, especially since I've never seen, a deer fox before.
Yes.
So, I mean, how did it feel to be maybe one of the first deer foxes probably out being a VTuber, right?
It felt good because it felt like I was the only one of my kind. I felt like people never really heard of fox deer in a VTubing sense. I did finally meet another one though, which is very cute.
Really?
We did become friends. Yeah, I did meet another fox deer, which was very, very cute.
Oh my god.
Her name is Dareful, I think. Let me I
that's
have
so
to double
cool.
check because. But yes, they're also a fox deer, which is very, very cute.
Oh wow.
But
That
at
is
the
cool.
time, I think I was the only one.
Yeah.
And it's just the two of us mostly, because we're the only two like deer foxes, which I never thought of anyone else being that. But so like I decided to do something more unique in that fact, because there was a lot of foxes coming out sooner, which is not a bad thing because I represent all fox. I love all fox VTubers.
Yeah.
But to kind of like stay, I guess you could say, unique and ahead of the game, I tried to do a little bit different. And now I'm going to do that fact even more soon with the rebrand.
So if anyone doesn't know, Kenty is doing a rebrand very soon and a re-debut. How is that making you feel? I mean, obviously, we spoke about how you didn't actually debut for your first model. You did debut for your second model. How did that go?
Also, real quick, her name is Miru.
Ooh, really? Okay.
She's a Dot Fox there. Her name is Miru. At least in Discord, that's what I know her as a friend.
Oh, okay, cool.
But to answer your question now is it was a lot of hard work. It was a lot of hard work and stressful. Because as you know, there's like so much preparation that goes into it, and trying to make everything established. Having this lore that you create, and like having to get someone to draw it because I can't draw for worth shit. So I have to get someone else to draw it. So I have to go over them about what I want and what I'm looking for. And then also, I also feel bad if I have to ask for changes when it comes to art. So, but then what I do is okay, But the fortunate thing is that Millie Moo,
Yes.
and then also Square Bear were there to help me. So they Square voiced it for me, and then Millie was the one that drew it, which helped tremendously. So I didn't really have to talk to someone I didn't know about it.
Oh yeah.
But then just getting a lore video ready, which was I could have done myself, but I felt like it would have been easier on me if I got someone else to do it. So that was something I had to do, but at the same time, my model wasn't even ready for the person to use it for the video and stuff. So I had to talk to my mama to make a dummy model, enough for them to use it for videos and stuff. Yeah. So that was stressful, and it was getting close because I wanted everything to happen on my birthday because it was a rebirth of me, and it was getting so close to crunch time, but it eventually worked out, and it was super amazing. There was a little scuff, but what's VTuber doesn't have scuff?
Exactly. I mean, would you say? Obviously, you said it went all well and everything, and you said it was a little bit stressful. But I mean, what would you do differently with your new debut? Your re-debut, sorry. What would you do?
I would make sure everything doesn't lag.
Oh, really?
Because that was the one thing that stressed me out the most is when I went to go play the initial videos, my stream started lagging. So that was very stressful. I would go into one thing I guess I'm doing now is that I'm not rushing at the I guess you could say last minute to do it because it was when I was doing this new rebrand of the Fox Dare, it was I already just got my Halloween outfit done.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah.
And it was in October, essentially, and I was I want to kind of have it done for my birthday at the same time. And so I asked hey, would we be able to do this for my birthday? And essentially, since it was the same model, but a different outfit, it would be okay.
Oh, yeah.
But then halfway between that, I felt so bad. But I love my parents so much. They are fucking rock stars because they managed to get it done. Because halfway through, hand tracking became a thing. And
really?
that was a big deal, and I was I really would love to have that for my model because I think that would be a really oh my god, she can move her hands type deal. Yeah. And so I asked hey, would we be able to add this in? Now, if we can't get it before my birthday, then it's fine. But I don't want to overwork you or rush you or anything like that. But they're no, we can do it, and they did it, and so I guess for the most part, I would plan better. I would pre-plan everything, which I am doing now. I'm working ahead of stuff. So I'm like getting the art already. Already getting the emotes prepared as like the models being made. Like I didn't set an actual date yet because like before it was on like an actual like deadline. But
Yeah.
I think one thing that's gonna help me is I'm not gonna set a deadline of when I'm gonna present it until I have everything or like it's like
That's
close
really,
to be done.
honestly, to be fair, that's actually a really good way of doing it because I did it the first way, like you did it the first time before, and it can crunch it. It can make you a bit stressed, which I understand, obviously for you as well, where you're waiting for stuff and you've always set this date and you're like, oh God, can you imagine if it's not done on time and stuff like that? So yeah, I think it's definitely a good way that you're, waiting for everything to be done and then deciding, oh, okay, this is when I'm actually going to do it. What would you say you're most excited about most for your new model?
A fresh new look and start because I felt for a long time, even to this point, I felt very stale. If that makes any sense, like I felt like I've been doing the same stick for like a good year and a half now, and like I wouldn't say I haven't had any growth, of course, but I felt like recently people have, at least for me, I've grown like bored of the way my model looks. If that makes any sense, like seeing it every single day for every little project, and like doing it, I guess you could say the same stick for a while is like kind of like getting old. And I feels like with this new rebrand and new refreshings, it would help give me more inspiration. It will help everyone else feel more motivated. Not saying people ever say that they hate my model because everyone says they love it. But I just feels like with this new rebrand, it will allow me to do new things, try new things, push my boundaries a lot more, help me not feel as stale and I guess complacent, I guess you could say. I don't know if that even makes sense.
No, I do get what you mean. Do you feel that you relate more to your new model than your last? Or
yes,
is it just,
actually. Because I guess one of the things is that one thing most people think is my favorite color is orange or gold because of the way I look, but that's not even true. My favorite color is blue. So, and I have more of a, like, I don't know, for the most part, I have this, like, very, like, loud, personality about me with this outfit. Is very rambunctious, I guess you could say. Which the other one is going to still be rambunctious as well. I'm going to say that. But I feels like the approach that I say I will have with this model is more chill. Because more so when I'm not on stream, I'm a lot more chill and vibe-ish.
Yeah.
And not like super loud. And initially I wish I could be more mellow, I guess you could say. But it feels like when I do that, I'm more bored. I'm boring to watch in a sense. For my own sake, like I think I'm boring, and like I wish like I could just come on stream and be like, yo, chat, what's good? How's life? How's like stream, and how was your day? It's been a cool day. Because that's normally how I am. I'm more like, I mean, to a degree, I am like more energized when I'm around friends and and stuff like that. So, but like whenever like that live button goes on, I'm just like, yo, Lone Star Life, welcome to the stream. Get yourself a nice good old green tea, and then like my voice be like fucking crying like halfway through and shit. So it's just, I don't know. I just wish for this new rebrand as a like I said, a new start, but like a soft reboot to Kentina Star. If that makes sense.
Definitely. It's like a new look and just a new feel to with your career within VTubing. Speaking about that and your career within VTubing, we can go back a little bit and where you said about obviously you were on YouTube and you were feeling a little bit lonely. Would you say that VTubing has become more of an escapism for you?
Yes, 100%. Yes. Like when I was a YouTuber, just exclusive YouTuber, I barely collabed with anybody. I never,
Yeah.
I'm always has been in the mindset of like hanging out with people and stuff like that
Mm.
because I always grew up in like a background of watching like Ninja Turtles and Justice
Yeah.
League and like Sonic the Hedgehog and Friends and stuff like that. So I always loved the idea of squads and friends and group of friends. Just,
Yeah.
you being unique on their own, but when they come together, they create this magic that's just like, ah, man, I love seeing these people together and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And it seems like I just never had that.
Yeah.
And in YouTube, it always felt like unless there was like a mutual gain, like if you could get something out of it, then most people would never really like to collab with you. Or if
Yeah.
you did, they would always like seem like you're trying to like mooch off them for like, you
Yeah.
know.
I
Plus,
definitely do think that's the kind of, especially back then with obviously
yes,
different kinds of content. Well, I don't know if anyone knows, but Kenty actually did do AMVs before
yes,
as well.
I did.
And it is the kind of same concept back then. Like if you weren't collabing, it was mostly for, for like growth and other people's growth and stuff like that.
Yes, yes.
Um,
At the time, I was getting really bored with the content, or at least I would say bored, but I wasn't really happy with my performance on YouTube as much because when I started out in like I guess you could say Sega Sonic background, and I made a lot of Sonic content.
yeah.
So, which it was not meant to be that way, but it kind of just happened that way. And as I went on, I kind of put myself in this box to where
Yeah.
people, when I tried to do other things that wasn't just Sonic and Sega, people just didn't really care as much.
Yeah.
And then I tried to do more anime because that's like what I love. I love anime and I love waifus and I love being more, I guess you could say, lewd and vulgar and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be more myself, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so I tried to put initially that into the vibe of it, and I started to find a little bit of traction with anime, but then it wasn't really like panning out as well for me.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really happy, and then of course, like I said, the whole collab thing and the collabs and friends. I didn't have a lot of friends in that factor at all. So then I became more of a VTuber, which actually I feel like it's a double sword because like when I became a VTuber and I became a little bit better on Twitch, my YouTube started to fall because people just didn't really like me as a YouTuber. I mean, I'm a VTuber. They didn't really like see the point in it, I guess you could say. Because like at the time, people I would say wasn't really too fond of VTubing at the time.
Yeah.
Like they understood it. I mean, it's not like how it is now where everybody loves it mostly and it's like more well known and stuff. But at the time, people didn't really understand it or know anything about it. And like the way that most YouTubers gets a recognition is by the connection that they see you as, like that real version of you and stuff. And like people just didn't vibe with it. They still don't. I'm still losing subscribers to this day on my YouTube. Yeah, like I started out with like 600. I was at a point of 600 and like 300, 6,300 subscribers. I lost 1,000 and like 200 subscribers since then.
What the actual heck? Really?
Yeah.
Is it because you were posting
stuff as a VTuber and stuff? Yeah. Like I switched my whole like channel, which was like I love my content now. I feel more happy with it, but at the same time, I did destroy my YouTube channel at the same time.
Does it remind you every time that kind of stuff happens? It reminds you of how you felt. Like I don't know. Do you feel sad or do you feel like happy?
I feel sad every day about it. Because like YouTube was like my first love. I love YouTube, and I worked so hard to make it happen. But also, it gives me something, a little bit of a clarity, I guess you could say, because like if they were that easy to leave, was they even there for me to begin with? Like,
exactly. I think that's a good way of thinking about it.
Like, if they were only there for like, I guess you say the Sonic and Sega stuff, they didn't really care about me as a creator. So
Yeah.
I'm just trying to like rebuild myself, and
Yeah.
keep moving forward on that fact. I mean, some days I'm like, oh man, maybe I should have never did it, and I should have just like,
Mm.
made a second channel or something, or but I felt like it was my channel. Like I worked hard for it, so I feel like I could
Yeah.
do what I want with it a little bit, but
Yeah, definitely.
it didn't work out that way. And so like every time I upload a video, I lose more subscribers. It's like,
That must be really hard to go through, especially
it's
every time you
terrible.
do upload.
It's terrible because like it's like no matter what I post, it doesn't really like get any traction because people unsubscribe every single time.
Yeah.
So like
Well, I
for a
never knew
while,
that.
yeah, no, it's one of the reasons why I work so hard on other things because
Mm.
like being a content creator is my full-time job. It's like
Yeah.
everything to me, and so like if one faction falls, which it is, it's like nerve-wracking on
Yeah,
the outside.
definitely.
I don't talk about it like because I don't want to be a bummer or like
Yeah.
bring the vibe down.
No,
But
of course not. It's
I guess it's
getting to know you.
yeah. So yeah, but I don't let it bring me down. I still do my thing. I still be happy and sharing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I feels like eventually it will turn around.
I mean, I think it's good though that people can see you as a real person if they hasn't before, and they know that you go through these hardships and that other people also go through these hardships. It's not all just fun and games of like VTubing. Sometimes you do go through hard stuff and you basically have to deal with it. Obviously there's lovely fun stuff that happens, and that actually takes me on to obviously you wanted to get into VTubing to make friends, and you've made your own group. You've made your own VTuber group. How did you come about doing that, and how did you decide to make one in the first place?
Well, one day, I met. Well, it was one of those things where I was on Twitter, and I was doing my thing as streaming and whatnot, and then the group the Shoujo made their own group,
Mm-hmm.
and they debuted as their own group, and I was like, oh man, that sounds so cool, like having a group of friends that you're just together and just streaming and making content for, because like of course there was also Hololive and Neji Sanji and stuff doing it before that, but they were more corporate, like they had to follow a rule and a stigma of how they went about things. But V Shoujo, when they debuted, they create this stigmas like you can still stream but have this independent vibe about you and still like just be a friend group essentially, And I was like, oh man, that sounds like a fucking amazing idea. That's exactly what I want, That's exactly what I want. So then I initially, came up with the idea of what to call it, and then I started talking to a few friends about it. Some of them you already know. Some other members that has left by this point, but went on to do other great things, are still doing great things. And over time, it was just like we were just talking to them. I told them about the initial idea, and they thought it was a really cool idea. And I went out and found a name. I got the Twitter, and I made the logo, and then we went out to get initial art for the new designs. Like, well, not the new design, but the design of the group and stuff. And then we essentially got it together, and then we debuted. Which was.
How was that experience? Was it quite nerve-wracking, or was it quite exciting to be with your mates and make this, this whole group, and be like known around your group, as your EVZ?
Yeah, because well, one of the first initial things that was kind of stressful is because Twitter has this like character limit on names.
Yeah.
So we initially can't even get the full English Virtual Zone, because that's the full name, is English Virtual Zone. So we couldn't even get that full thing. So we had to like shorten it. And I was like, people are gonna think this is stupid. People are not gonna know who we are. And it was so stressful trying to get that initial Twitter right.
Yeah.
But we did get it on everything else because they don't have a character limit on like
Yeah.
your username and stuff. So it was fine. We still made it work and stuff. And then initially after that, we made the Discord. We started planning to get the art and when we were going to debut and when we were going to do it. And then, you know, it was nerve-wracking because at first when we were doing the character art, we waited like so long for the character art to get done.
Yeah.
And like initially, well, I guess I could tell you who initially was a part of it was, you know, me, you know, at the first. And then Coral Hollow, if you you know Coral. And then Millie Moo, Momica, Alligator, and Rhea Hart. That was like the initial group. And then, so we all got together and we were like, you know, we're going to get art and then we're going to make this happen. And when we got like some of the art back, the person wasn't initially done by the time they told us they was going to get the art done.
Oh, really?
So then we initially had to push back on when we were going to like debut the group because we were supposed to debut a little bit before a couple people were debuting to like kind of build up hype on them debuting because like Momo and Millie didn't even debut initially yet. Initially. And we were going to debut the group before that, but the person that was doing the art didn't tell us that they were like ill or they didn't really have a lot of great communication with us to start the art. And then when they did start the art, you know, they was always like, I want to say, they just didn't have a lot of great communication because their art was very beautiful, but they overloaded themselves. They wasn't talking to us on what it was, what they were going through. Like they got sick or they was overwhelmed and all this other stuff. So like halfway through, she ended up just quitting on us.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was very stressful. It was very stressful because like, and then at the time it was like other groups were starting to show up as well. So it's like, oh my goodness, it's like you ever think about it when you have an initial idea and you think like, oh man, I have this idea, we're gonna come out with it, it's gonna be crazy, but then other people essentially has coincidentally the same idea as you. Yeah. And then so other groups started popping up and we started to see that and it was like, oh my goodness, this is like,
it's probably disheartening.
It was so disheartening. It's like all we need is this art and we can go. Like we could make everything happen. Yeah. But we need like this art to like, you know, be more established. And then so we had to find another artist, but they already initially finished like 4 of the members already. Oh. So it was like me, Alligator, and like Momica, who wasn't finished. Like they had the initial sketches done, but they didn't have us like finalized. So we had to find another person to like redo, like kind of like piggyback of what they did just to finish those 3. Yeah. Which we did eventually find who is the artist Reza Vaca, who I love, who's my favorite artist to go to, who does all my art for my models and stuff like that. So they were able to like to finish it. And then, so we finished the art, we finally was able to, like, set a date, and we made a date, and then we debuted, which was very stressful, because, like, it's a lot more than just yourself on the line at that point. You're, like, debuting this whole group, and, you know, people is very wary of it, and people are like, they don't understand it, because, you know, also VTubers are still kind of initially new, and at the same time, I didn't want people to think that we're copying the shoujo and stuff like that. But it was all good. It was all fun, and we had, you know, we were, you know, collabing, playing games. On that same day, we had like a big like Among Us collab for like our debut. Oh, really? Yeah, and we got a few extra friends to join, and Square Bear, who's in the group now, as well as Coco, who joined, was like, we were like, oh, they would be perfect for the group.
Yeah.
Like Square immediately we were like, okay, we have to have Square in the group. And then a little bit after that, Coco ended up joining. And then
Oh,
after that, a few
wow.
other people joined, like Momo. Well, not quite Moe is their actual name, but I call him Momo. And then Glamour Oracle, and of course, Lori. Then, as I said, a few members left. And they went to go do their own thing, which they're still thriving. I still root for them to this day. I'm still friends with them to this day. So there's no, I know people always think that there's bad blood, but there's not. I love them.
No,
They're still some of my best friends of all time. I mean, and I always wish them the best in their adventures and stuff.
Yeah.
And so now we're just, we're still thriving as EVZ. And I think we have a good, steady pace at where we're at now. And, so it was very stressful.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I wouldn't change it for the world. I loved every moment of it.
Yeah, because obviously when other people come and watch you and find out you're actually in a group, people assume, and I think a lot of people assume, that you're actually the leader of the group, right?
Yes,
How does
they
that,
do.
How does that feel?
Because I initially didn't. Well, now I'm being, I guess you could say, more accepting of it.
Yeah.
But at the time, I didn't want to be known as the leader because I didn't want, I guess you could say, I wanted EVZ to be run on a base of we're all kind of the leader, Yes, it was my initial idea to start it and like put it all together, but at the same time, we're all like equals. We all kind of like make it happen. So, but like, I mean, essentially, I was making the schedules on when we collab and stuff like that, and we worked out the merch and the logos and all that other stuff, and got everything prepared. So people always like looked at me as the sole leader, and they still do to this day. And it is nice, but also weird at the same time because you're like it. I guess you could say in some ways it adds a little bit more stress. Yeah. But in a good way, because I feel like in my mind it's like if I don't do this, then it won't happen. Which I know is not that case because I can always ask them for help. But I want everyone to have a motion of like all I need to worry about is streaming, having fun, and doing my thing. All the financial stuff, all the character art, all the other stuff will come from me or the company, the budget of the company that goes with it. I don't want them to stress about that because it is stressful at times and it's stupid to do it. But I like to bend myself backwards for my friends. Like even for people that's like associated with EVZ, I would bend myself backwards for them because I love them so much and I appreciate them so much. And like just hearing like the EVZ crew or like the EVZ community and like people like actually like love it and love the members in it and like love our inside jokes and stuff like that. It's very like heartwarming like to hear because it's like it was just this like concept that you didn't really think was going to be anything. And like people actually enjoy it. They love it. They enjoy the members in it. They go to the other people's members like, hello, Oracle. Or if they show up in chat, they're like, oh my goodness, Oracle, Coco, blah, 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 you're here and stuff. And like, it's just fun to have those group of people. And I'm sure this is the same for like your sister group, your sibling group, where it's just nice to have that group of people to be like, hey, do you want to stream together? Or hey, I don't feel like streaming by myself. That you want to do something, like, or just just want to talk about stuff.
I do. Yeah, that is true because you have this sense of a community, right? Which is really nice. Everyone's around and everyone knows each other. Which I mean, was that the reason why you wanted to make a group so that you have this community and you have all these friends around?
Yes.
You can collab with yourself whenever.
Yes, that was the initial idea, is to have friends to stream with, streaming friends to collab with, bonds, unbreakable bonds that that sense like, hey, if you're streaming in voice and you're in voice chat, someone just joins and like, yo, what up, bitch? What up? How you doing? Nah, I mean, just making an interest, almost like
Yeah.
an old sitcom type of feel. Like if they show up,
Mhm.
they're like, oh, hey, oh, what's good? And if they leave, they're like, okay, goodbye, and see you next
Yeah.
time and stuff. Just like that overflowing feel. I
Mhm.
feel like we initially somewhat have that, but it's not 100% of where I want it yet. But I'm
Yeah.
just going with the flow. You can't have it all. You can't have your cereal and eat it too. Well, I don't know that. I didn't know the actual initial like term they say, but like
Mhm.
I tried to make my own, but it didn't make sense. But I only
No,
have
I
two
do get
brain
what you
cells.
mean. I do get what you mean, though. I think it's so nice, though, to see from the outside, like where and how far you've come as like as a VTuber and as well as a group member. I mean, how's your experience within the VTubing community been so far for you? I mean, how have you experienced it, and have you had any downsides to it so far?
Um, that's actually a loaded question.
I mean, you can start with the first part of like how has your experience been so far within
I
the
mean, I loved it. I love it every
Mhm.
single day. I mean, even though some days it has its stressful moments, I
Mhm.
mean, I'm sure you being a VTuber as well can also agree that you're always constantly thinking like, man, am I good enough? Do people actually
Mhm.
like me? Are they actually here for me? Or if I leave, will I be forgotten? Like, if I don't
Yeah.
tweet, will people even care that I tweeted? Like a bunch of
Mhm.
stuff that I never thought I would think about on your everyday to day. But at the same time, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I love being a VTuber. I love waking up every day, seeing my
Mhm.
friends and my mates talking and sharing posts, and I can tweet at it and like it, and we just have this like
Yeah.
back and forth with each other in the comments, making memes about each other and stuff and whatnot.
Oh
I love it.
god.
I love it to my core, and
Yeah.
I think that's why I work. Initially, I started as a VTuber to
Mm.
just make friends, but now I make it as a part of like I just love it. I love it
Yeah.
so much. I love initially just being this character, having this persona,
Mm.
having this vibe with other friends, having this flirty playfulness with VTubers because you never really see it in other like type of medias. I
Mm.
mean, you see it with like flesh tubers too, in a
Yeah.
sense, but
Mm.
I feel like you don't see a stronger bond with VTubers than VTubers. Like, you don't even
Yeah.
necessarily need to know a certain VTuber most of the time to be like, to say someone is cute and
Oh
not
yeah,
be like
definitely.
weird about it, you know?
Yeah, it's very accepting of everything in every aspect. Of
Yeah.
even if you say anyone's cute and they don't take it the wrong way because everyone's just so comfortable with each other, even if they don't know each other, which is really nice to probably experience. I mean,
Yeah.
mm, but
I would say like the only I mean I've
mm,
had of course my downsides, but that's just
yeah,
mental health in general. But
mm,
for the most part, it's just been nothing but positive, overwhelming energy. Like of
yeah,
course hitting 1K and everyone was like doing that whole marathon and how everyone was just coming in to try to help me get to
yeah,
that milestone was so like overwhelmingly like oh my goodness like why like I'm
yeah.
not even worth it but people are like oh no you are so we're
Would
gonna like
you
show you how you
mm,
are and
would
you
you say
know
that's a milestone? That is a milestone where you go, oh my god, I've kind of made it in a way, kind of, or have
yeah.
you, or have you? Is there any time before that that you've ever thought that way?
Well, I mean, I guess the only other time that I felt that way,
Mm,
but it was more
mm.
so for me because it was like a solo thing, is that hitting
Yeah.
partner on YouTube was
Oh
like a
yeah.
really big
Mm.
milestone for me because it was like, oh my goodness, I never really thought of ever hitting partner on YouTube.
Yeah.
But
That's
like,
insane.
I made that happen and it was like a damn, I did that type of shit. But like for streaming though, not saying YouTube isn't
Mm.
just as hard work, but I feels like streaming and Twitch is initially is a
Mm.
lot harder to make an initial following on because you're
Oh yeah,
literally
definitely.
you have to like make things on the fly. You gotta
Mhm,
do
mhm.
things on the fly. You gotta be entertaining almost every single second of the time you're streaming.
Yeah.
Unless you know you make it big where you have the luxury of just not doing anything and people just there just to watch you.
Mhm.
But initially, I don't have that yet. I don't have that luxury, so I have to be entertaining almost every time. You
Yeah.
know, and you know, but it's also like a fun venture to go about. So like when you hit those milestones for like 1K or 3K, it means something because you worked hard for that.
Yeah,
You put the
definitely.
time in, you put the hours, the days, the energy to build this community together
Mhm.
and to have like reoccurring viewers. Like, cause I never thought I would have reoccurring viewers. Like for people to come back, like
Mm.
I always initially think like someone to show up for a bit and then leave and I
Yeah.
never see them again. But to have people come
Mhm.
back and not only come back, know you, understand your jokes, to troll you in a fun, happy
Mhm.
way, and then to like spread that to your friends and stuff because
Yeah.
like I said, I started VTubing for selfish gains, I guess you could say, but
I
now
definitely don't think so. I think you said, obviously you said you wanted to be a VTuber to make friends. I don't think that's ever selfish. I think that's, you know, I think it's understandable, and I think a lot of people do that.
true,
So,
true. I mean, I
mm,
do think, yeah, you're right. I think I'm just being hard on myself, but
you
more
are
so
being hard on
now,
yourself.
I want to be a successful VTuber so I can make my friends successful. Like I've always said that
Mm,
I want to make
mhm.
EVZ specials because they're special because I see very good, talented people
Yeah.
within VTubing, and I want to just be that friend that's just able to help to be that superwoman that
Yeah.
most people need in a time of need. I guess you could say. I know
Yeah,
that's kind of
definitely.
that might sound kind of foolish, but
No, it sounds
it
really admirable, honestly. Having someone, obviously been doing this for like a hot minute now, right? And
yes,
you've changed in a way, and you've changed your content to make it to make you more happy and to make others happy, obviously. I mean,
yes,
obviously you've gone through changes recently, and obviously changed up your content a little bit.
yes,
How
yes.
has that been for you? And how obviously you've went through a thing where obviously um you changed your voice as well. How was that? And I know it was
It's
a very scary time. Might been for you, right?
yes. I mean, it's still scary almost every
Mm.
day. But I guess to start with the first part,
Yeah.
it's still weird to this day because initially when I was just constantly just working on stuff like through
Yeah.
the nights and then only getting like 4 hours of sleep. I
Mm.
mean, yes, I guess initially I was getting more done,
Yeah.
but I feels like the quality of it wasn't as good for most
Yeah.
cases. Like I would, I guess,
Mm.
half-ass a lot of stuff. Not, I would
Mm.
say a lot of stuff, but some things. Like when it came to like certain edits for my own videos and the
Yeah.
structure of it, and like streaming certain days and stuff, I would like miss a lot,
Mm.
miss certain days because like I wasn't tired. I was too tired to like even stream because I was
Mm.
working on other stuff and whatnot. And I was just tired of being tired all the time. Like I was
Yeah,
like
definitely.
constantly falling asleep. I was constantly falling asleep while talking to my wife, or like
Oh
in the middle of
no.
streaming, I would
Yeah.
fall asleep, or like all this other
Yeah.
things and stuff. And I just didn't want to be that anymore. And
I think it's made you a lot more happier though. I mean,
yes,
from what I've
I
seen.
think that as well. So changing a way to have a more happier schedule to let people
Hmm.
know initially when I'm on a stream and actually showing up for that stream.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still like a few minutes late, but
I'm
it's
always like
they're always harping on me like, Kitty, you're late. Why are you late? I don't know. I don't know why I'm late. But I feels like my content and just the all around
Yeah.
like vibe that I give off is a lot more happy or more energized.
Yeah.
I think someone else who just came in and they were like, I never seen you this energized, and I was like, but that's like see on YouTube, I was always energized, always
Yeah.
like always energetic. I was always very sprunked and like always like sharing that vibe. But
Mm.
I guess with me just constantly. But at the time with YouTube, I could sleep. All I had to do was
Yeah.
make a video, edit it, and
Mm.
then go to sleep and do other things. So I didn't really have to
Yeah.
worry about the constant need to stream and make videos at the same time.
Oh yeah, definitely. I
before.
think as well. I mean, how was it? Like, obviously, you were so tired, but then you had to, in a sense, like, what's the word? Like, kind of not. It's not like pretending, but like hype yourself up a bit more than you
It
don't normally
was
feel like.
it was hard, man. It was
Yeah.
hard. It was hard, cause like half the time, like even like during class, people would be talking to me, but I would not like really be paying attention, cause I'd
Yeah.
just be zoned out, cause I'd be so tired. Like, cause like
Yeah.
it like when you're like streaming and you're doing it for long term, eventually you get winded a little bit,
Oh
somewhat.
yeah.
And in that midst of chill time of listening to someone else talking, you're kind of just chilling at the same time, like listening
Yeah.
but still chilling. And in those moments, I could feel myself not really like paying attention or like dozing off mentally, and I'm just like, I just
Yeah.
don't want to do this. It feels rude. It feels that right, and I just don't want to be that anymore. And
Yeah.
so I went about changing everything, like, getting a proper sleep schedule,
Yeah.
eating right, exercising, getting out more, and
Yeah.
like changing my vibe and my content, making it more not about just streaming on Twitch, but streaming from Twitch to YouTube and making it like, more, I guess you say good content to watch, the quality of it, making better TikToks, spreading myself more. But at the same time, at the conundrum, it always feels like I haven't really done anything, but I have. Like,
Oh yeah,
just,
you definitely have. You can definitely tell that your content has changed and you have changed like a lot for the better, especially watching your streams now.
yeah,
You just seem so more engaged. Well, you were obviously engaged before, but you just seemed so much more happy and happy to be making the stuff you are making, right?
yes, I am. A
Um,
ton, a ton. Even
definitely.
just doing just chatting, because, like, I could never see myself doing that before. Like, a year ago when I started streaming, I could never see myself doing just chatting,
Yeah.
because, like, I was just a gamer. Like, that's like, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
you just come to stream the game and then leave. But, like,
Mm.
that's not it at all. Like, nowadays, before it was like a chore to stream.
Yeah.
Like, I did it because that's what you had to do. But
Mhm.
now, I treat it like a slumber party, like a sleepover that I get to
Yes.
have almost every day and hang out with people and vibe with them. And, like, I associate myself with more people now. Like,
Yeah.
for a while, I would, like, I wouldn't be like there in the moment. Like, I was
Yeah.
there, but not really truly there, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, that makes
Like
sense.
I wasn't very interactive to the point where I got to know my chat and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So now, like, doing the just chatting, we get to vibe and understand what people like. I understand, like, a lot of things that people, what their interest is, their hobbies, their goals and stuff. Doing things like VR Chat Fridays, which I
Yeah.
love. It gives me a chance to hang out with the community and bond with them. Not even just as a chat, but just as friends, people just hanging out and doing stuff, And I feels like it's that stuff that I feels like it's helped the quality of me streaming as
Yeah.
well as just, my overall being itself. Like, me talking to you, I feels like if it was the old me or like the beginning parts of me streaming, like if you go back into like the original podcast episodes to now, you
Yeah.
can even see it then. Like, I was like listening to most of you guys talk, and I was responding obviously, but I was so tired. I like everything I said
Yeah.
was like tired. You could tell that I was tired. Like, you could sense that I was tired. Like, I mean, I'm still tired
Yeah.
because I'm always tired. But
True.
at the same,
But no, I do get you what you mean though. It was more tired in the sense like it's overworking kind of thing.
yes.
So, but yeah, I mean, obviously, other than your content, you've changed up. Obviously, you went through the change of changing your voice changer, right? How was
Yes.
that?
It's still scary to this day, truthfully.
Really?
It doesn't feel like it feels natural. I do love it. But
Yeah.
like it feels weird because now I can't even watch my old content with my old voice anymore.
Really? You can't?
I just cringe so hard now. It just doesn't sound natural anymore. Like, I
Oh my
tried using
God.
it.
I
I
didn't know
tried to
that.
go back to it for a
Yeah.
bit, but I just couldn't do it. Like, every time I listen to it back, I'm just like, it doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound like me anymore. Like, I don't even know
Yeah.
how I did it. So it's like maybe it's true that it was unbearing. But even still, to this day, I mean, I told you this before, but like I hate my actual voice to a T. Like I
Mm.
hate me sometimes and initially. But
Oh.
I know. But we're not going to talk about that today. But you
Mm.
know why.
Yeah,
Talked to you
I
about it.
do, and I don't. Obviously, everyone I've spoken to sees you as Kenty and hears you as Kenty, and that's such a
Mm,
lovely thing to hear, especially from other people, especially since I am your friend.
it is.
And
It is. But
and
I
it's so nice
know
to yeah.
somewhat. Oh, sorry. Go
Oh,
ahead. I'm
no,
ending
carry
it.
on.
No, no, go ahead. No, go. Go ahead. Yeah,
Oh
I
no,
didn't mean to interrupt you.
I was literally just gonna say it's just so nice to see you more comfortable with yourself and to, you know, you can feel that across the screen when you're watching you. So
Yes,
it's such a nice change, and I think everyone was hopefully was accepting of it, and I know a lot of people were, and that must have been really nice to experience,
it
especially since
was
you were
because
going through
it
it.
was one of
Mm,
those moments where people were very confused. Because like for the first time I did
yeah,
it, people was constantly asking me like, "Did something happen? Are you okay?
yeah,
Did like your voice is a lot different." I'm
mm,
like, yeah, I just thought it was time for a change. I felt like I wanted
mm,
to, be more in tuned to me, I guess you could say. And I
yeah,
felt like the old voice just was like, I feels like it served its purpose for the
yeah.
time. And I guess in a way, this new voice helps me be more accepting of me as a
Oh,
person.
definitely,
Like,
yeah.
I guess I could say this part. Like,
Hmm,
I love me as Katina Star. I love it.
mhm,
I love who she is. I love what she brings. I
mm,
love the aneurysms that she brings, the energy and stuff like
mm,
that.
mm, mm.
But the person outside of Katina Star, I hate. I don't really
Mm.
care for at all. And but there's nothing I could do to change that. And I feels
Yeah,
like, even though the small people who I talk to, like you and EVZ and other
yeah,
people, accept me for me, but I
of
don't
course.
accept me for me. And that's the biggest problem.
Mm.
I don't accept me.
Yeah,
And
hopefully one day you can because obviously I do, and you have like so many other friends that obviously accept you, and I guarantee that your viewers accept you for who you are. I think it's just so hard to get out of this mindset that you're
yeah,
probably in, but you do have obviously this building community that accepts you for you, which is really, really nice to see as such an amazing community that you have.
true. Yeah, I do. I believe that too.
Mhm.
I'm thankful to the people I know, the community I have, who
Yeah.
just literally just if I do change something, they just love me for me, and it does feel nice.
Mm.
However, I do know that my voice scares people. It deters people a lot, and it does hurt to
Mm.
know that no matter what I do, it's like I can't really find that like rhythm to make everybody happy.
Yeah.
And it's more me thing that I gotta just come to terms with. I just can't make everybody happy. But at the
Mm.
same time, for a person who wants to be a content creator, who wants to always continue to grow and stuff, I
Yeah.
feels like one of the leading factors of me not growing is my voice. But I'm so afraid to use my actual voice because it
Yeah.
would be so misleading of who I am
Yeah.
that I fear it almost every day. Like I to the point I don't really
Mm.
tell no one this, but I guess I'm gonna talk about it now is that I
Yeah.
triple check almost every day that my voice is the way it is right now.
Really? You triple
Cause
check? Oh,
I
wow.
triple check. I'm so
Mm.
scared of it like slipping. Cause
Yeah.
just yesterday or the other day, it did happen only in Discord though with Oracle,
Oh, really?
and it like scared the hell out of me. You could see it. Like if you, I mean, I don't know. Most people noticed it because I muted it
Mm.
right. I muted it right away. But like in the rap stream, now people are gonna look at it when they when they go. It was a moment where Oracle joins and she says it, and you could just hear it in my voice, like my heart just dropped because I'm so
Oh,
afraid every day.
no.
I'm afraid every day to even
Yeah.
like let it slip. So I always
Yeah.
triple check, and I don't even know how it happened because like it's just like I always check, but it seemed like
Yeah.
Discord like messed up somehow,
Yeah,
and
sometimes
like
it resets. It does a bit. For some
and
goddamn reason. That must feel so. so suffocating at times, though, to
It is.
constantly
It
be
is.
on
But
guard.
I try not to let it get me down, obviously. I try to still be me. But
Yeah.
it, like, when I wake up in the morning, that's just what I'm just me. But when I turn on the computer, then I'm Kentina Star. If that makes
Yeah.
sense. And I wish almost every day that I could just be Kentina Star all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think even though, obviously, I know not everyone knows, but obviously I see you both as Katina. And
Yes.
both of you. And I hope one day other people do, and maybe one day you may never know, in the future you might decide to, take that plunge and do it. Even if you don't know, people still see you as this, and if they don't, then that's just them. They just gonna, if we see that's just not the content they want to watch. Obviously, there's other people that don't want to watch me because of what my content is. I think it's just trying to accept. Obviously, I think this is big. I think hard on a lot of VTubers, accepting that not everyone's gonna want to watch, and that, or it's like kind of like people pleasing in a way where not everyone's gonna like you, right?
Right, exactly.
And it is such a hard concept to get your head around, right? Because obviously you want, well, I don't know about you, but you want people to like you.
Yes. Well, it's the Kentina Star part of me, yes.
Yeah. But but no, I really hope one day that you are comfortable being you, if that makes sense.
Like when it comes to my personality,
Yeah.
I love, and the friends and the life I have, I love. It's not like I want to say this as someone that who like my friends watching this. It's not in the sense that I don't love my life. I do love my life.
Yeah.
I just don't do, like I don't love some of the cards that was dealt in my life. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's fair. That makes sense.
I want to make people like I'm not going to off myself or anything like that. It's not that bad, but it's just one of those things that, I mean, it is bad, but like not that bad. If that makes sense.
It just feels like, it just probably feels quite unfair, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, every day. I say that almost every day. I'm like, oh my god, if only, and like, it's never gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. So I just gotta get over it. But it's like one of those things.
How you deal with it though, and I think you're dealing with it very well. I think so.
It's only when it's initially just brought up, like in this type of situation, when I start thinking about it more. And I hate bringing it up because it always feels like a bother, or it's like a drag.
I think this is a really good way of bringing it up, especially within this interview, because no one knows, right? Because you don't normally talk about it in your streams, right?
No,
you don't
I
ever
never
talk about it. Never. Especially since you don't want anyone discussing it anyway. So this is a really good way of people getting to know you and understanding you as a person and why you do the things you do. And I think this is honestly.
But I think that's why people like Zentrea is such a huge inspiration for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to say her story, her background is similar to mine, but she uses the same type of techniques to stream as I do. And I look at her as like, man, people love her. People enjoy her. They accept her. I'm just like, man, if I could just have a fraction of that.
Yeah. I mean,
I would be so happy.
I think it's just one of these things where it's consistency is key and being persistent. I think obviously, but I do understand what you mean. It's like, if people can love, her, then why can't they love me?
Right, exactly. Right? But, one thing that my wife put in, well, no, I can't. I'll actually, never mind. I'll tell you that part.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, so Zentrea is a big inspiration for me. And then, of course, May has been a big inspiration for me recently. I mean, of course, there's a lot of people that's inspirations to me, but like those two in particular, like I'm like, man, like
are they new inspirations to you?
Trey has always been an inspiration for me, but May has been a new one, but because I didn't really, because like I don't know if you have come to this realization. It's like, man, there's a lot of VTubers, and some that I feels like you've been in the same space for the same amount of years, and you had no idea who they were. until you see them stream with someone else, and you're like, oh my goodness, they're like this super cool freaking VTuber, and like, how did I not know about them at all? Like, it's so weird. But I think that's the one thing that's like fun about VTubing is that you get to discover so many people,
that is true.
be unique, and then they have this whole archive of content that you go watch and be like, oh, let me go see what they've done and stuff like that. And
definitely.
So Person May has been one of them, and I just like his story. I like his vibe. I like his energy. I like how he just like, he's this, guy that's just trapped into a female's body, and like, he goes with the trolls of it, and I love it. I love it so much. It's a really cool concept.
Really nice vibe. Yeah, it is really, really cool. I mean, since the start, obviously you mentioned earlier a few inspirations or people you first started watching. Do you have anyone that's been an inspiration to you other than Centrea since you first started VTubing? Or that, obviously you said at the beginning, you watched, who was it? You said someone at the beginning who you watched and you was like, oh my God, I could actually be a VTuber. Is there anyone else like that?
Yes, well, initially was Bao the Whale. It was definitely a huge inspiration for me. I just, again, I liked her energy. I liked the charismatic way she brought herself to the streams. I liked how she had this whole vibe with her chat that, they troll her, but they also love her at the same time. Yeah. They support her for everything she does. And then her whole crew, of course. And then, one that's not even a streamer or a VTuber is Dato Doya.
Okay.
He is just a YouTuber. He does stream too, but like he's just this entertaining. He's just one of those people that can literally stream anything or play anything, and it's funny all the time. I could never be that, but I wish I could. But there's just something. I don't know if you ever seen someone who just is like naturally gifted at just being funny or entertaining in a way that it's just like when you see them play a game that you don't think they would actually make entertaining, they make entertaining, and that is him. Like, I just is like, man, like, I would love to have that ability just to play anything or do anything. Literally, he watched paint dry and made it entertaining. People were there watching him watch paint dry. I'm just like, I could never. My chat could never. Like, I could never. I don't have the attention span to do that. One, and two, I don't think I'm entertaining enough to do that. And then three, I don't think chat or anyone would care enough for me to watch me do that. Probably will. I don't know. But either way, so that was like another inspiration. But VTuber, that was like the only like real flesh tuber that was like a huge inspiration for me. But of course, V Shoujo, the way they carry themselves, they present themselves in the VTuber world of how, they're just friends who just stream and hang out and just, they're expiring and doing all these thriving things in the community that's just like jaw-dropping. And it's just, it'd be cool to have, like, experience that same type of thing in a way. I mean, in our own, like, story, of our own group of friends, like you and EVZ and the other friends that I know, I would love to see us all in that same, like, Anime Expo highlight type deal. But, like, even when it comes to that, in the back of my head is like, how would I even do that? Because, like, shit. Like, I hate being me, so how would I ever be at Anime Expo? So it's always like a conundrum, for me.
Yeah, it's like always coming back in a sense. But like I said earlier, I think it's kind of getting and believing that you are loved by so many for who you are, not just as Kenty, but as you.
Right. Like,
but I think it's that hurdle getting over.
It is. It's so hard to get over. But, like, like, when it did happen, like, Oracle, she was loving it. She loved it. She didn't want me to change it. She wanted me to, like, keep going with it. But, like, my fear just got to me. And I'm just like, no, I can't. Because, like, what if someone else joins and they don't have the same... It's like that judgment, I guess you could say.
I definitely don't ever think anyone would be judgmental, honestly. I really don't think so. There's obviously going to be some, but that's just because in every community there are them certain people, right?
True.
They're just in every place you go, sadly, there are them kind of people about. But I do think most people, especially since the VTuber community is so accepting of every single person that wants to be a VTuber, I think it would be completely fine. But I think it's more of a fact that you as a person are trying to figure this out yourself. And that's what you should do first and foremost, figuring it out and how you feel about it before you ever like present yourself in a way that would make you feel upset maybe in the future or whatever. So definitely...
Like, I won't lie, like, even trying to do collabs with someone that doesn't know me kind of scares me. Because I guess I just don't want them to draw attention to my voice. Like, it's just my voice, you know, this is my voice. Like, you don't need to know about any other voice, at least right now, unless I tell you. But, like, you know, I don't know, it's always those things, like, I mean, I still do it, I still reach out to people, because I love hanging out with people and doing me. I don't let it limit myself, but it is a thought in my back of my head, like, man, they're gonna, I don't know how they're gonna perceive me as it, but, you know, it is what it is, though. It's like, you know, so, I just want, so, long story short, those are the people that kind of inspire me to be a better version of me, to take steps to be more quality over quantity. And then just, you know, the initial friends and just the initial just like, I want to be better for my friends and better for myself. And I at the same time, I don't know, I feels like this weird thing is like, you know, I don't want to let people down, if that makes sense. You know? So I just want to work hard so I never lose what I have now, because that would be awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
I think you are one of the hardest working people I know of. You're literally probably the up there with you are at the top of the people I know that work so much, and it's so admirable and like inspiring for me anyway, which is really cool. And I hope that people see you as like an inspiration, because you are one. So yeah.
Oh, you're so sweet. I don't think so, but I appreciate it nonetheless.
I do.
But again, I apologize for anyone that's listening that I brought the mood down.
No, stop apologizing! Look, hear me out. Kenton does this all the time, man, and I don't give a shit. This is your interview. We're talking about you. It makes sense. Don't apologize.
Okay. Wow.
I think it's such a thing. No one knows about this. This is such an it's an interesting thing to speak about, because no one knows. This is you, and I don't know, they don't know this about you. So it's like, oh my God, we're getting to know you, which is all this is about, right? We're getting to know you as a person and as a leader. So you have nothing to apologize for at all.
I know. You know, you ever have that feeling when you're just like talking, you just feel overbearing, and you're just like
No, God, no. I love talking about this, and I love talking to you about you. And it
is a stress reliever, I should say, though, to talk about it in like an open setting like this.
Yeah, especially since other people are gonna see this and accept you for being you, right? It might be a little bit scary, but it's gonna be, it's gonna be such a nice feeling to have everyone who does listen know a little bit more about you, which is really like lovely. Even though I know a lot of the stuff we speak about, like me and Kenty speak about this or other stuff quite a bit. But it's so nice to have to speak about it, but knowing other people are going to be listening, which is really, really nice.
Which I do always. I cherish you, EVZ, so very much, because like it feels like it could have been anyone else and they could have like shrugged it off and like, ooh, gross, like I don't want to, be with you, and that would have been so disheartening. I think it's not the fear of telling them, it's the judgment. Yeah, like no, I couldn't deal with it. But like you know, but it's one of those things like you're my best friend, and ABZ is some of my best friends, and I feels like I just wanted to be honest with you and let you guys know how I felt.
Yeah, well, I'm
And
glad. I'm glad you did though, because it made me feel like so much closer to you. So I hope from doing this, other people are going to feel a lot closer to you and understand you a bit more, and be able to vibe with you a little bit more within your
yeah,
chat, stuff like that. So yeah, that'd be really, really
um,
cool.
but yeah, but those are the people that inspire me to be better.
Mm, mm, mm.
And I just try to kind of take those inspirations and twist them into my own like self being of being a
Yeah.
VTuber and content creator as best as I know how. I don't think I always get it right, but I try my best. Like for example, like Stray. Everyone's playing Stray right now, and that's like their like
Mm,
biggest thing. Someone asked me like, "Oh, are you gonna play Stray? Like, you should play it." And I was like, I
yeah.
mean, it seems like a fun game, but it just doesn't seem like my type of game, and I would hate
Yeah.
to play a game that I know I'm not gonna have fun with, that I'm only playing just because it's popular and everyone else is playing it. And again, it goes to that same thing: is that uh, if everyone's going right, I'm like,
Mm,
oh, what's going on in left? Let's explore left.
yeah.
I always choose the hard path. So I feels like another reason why I always feels like I'm not really excelling, because I never follow the trends.
Yeah.
I'm always just playing anime games and just JRPGs and shit
That's
that
you.
no one cares about.
No, but I do
So,
think that's like a you thing, that's you and unapologetically you. So I don't think anyone can ever hate that, right?
yeah. But sometimes I play some games that's trendy, like Wrath,
Yeah.
or Golf with Friends was popular for a
Mm, mm,
while,
mm.
and I try to do things like that. If there's like a collab or a group thing, like Crab
Mm.
Game, which
Yes.
was fun.
Yeah.
The Crab Game arc for a while was fun.
Oh yes, definitely. Definitely.
So those type of games are like fun and interesting when it
Mm,
evolves
mm.
around people, but when it's like a singular player interest, like even like Elden Ring, like when people are playing Elden
Yes.
Ring, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god, I know for a fact that I would not like that game. But I like watching it, but I know I wouldn't get far into it, so it wouldn't be
Yeah.
very entertaining. So I'm gonna save me the $60 and your time and play stuff that I would actually be like good at and interesting for. So yeah, like I just try to do things.
Yeah, I mean,
And
speaking about like, obviously, you say you play a lot of anime games. Is your content, would you say, very much inspired by anime?
yes, actually, yeah.
Mm,
Like, just with being in that narrative of an anime game, I
mm.
try one of the goals that I'm trying to do is play every single anime game on PlayStation
Oh
consoles.
wow, that's
Yeah.
insane.
So it's always kind of fun when I either find, and most anime games are not that good,
Yeah.
especially the ones that's made back in the day. I mean, there's some crowning jewels that we have found that I've played
Mm,
since my adventure of doing it. But at the same time, I feels like I'm able to like bond with it more because I know the material, I know this anime, I know this the thrill of it,
yeah.
and like when someone comes in watching me play an anime game, and it's like, oh man, I haven't seen this in forever. It's like so interesting. And it's like I feels like I'm that person that plays the games that people don't think about. Like
Yeah.
there's a Soul Eater game. I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't even know there's a Soul Eater
Wow.
game.
I literally didn't even know that, honestly.
So
I did
I've been
not.
playing that because one, I love Soul Eater, and I think Soul Eater is a fucking amazing anime and should deserves to have more video games and merch and repetition. Even though it's kind of old at this point, but I still think it should deserve a remake at one point.
That
Um,
would be cool.
so like so and it also goes into that the reason why I love anime is just because that escapism, the friendships, the
Yeah.
crew and squad and stuff like that.
Mm.
So I guess maybe I love it more and I attain to it more because that sense of being connected to the anime, but also playing it because I think no one else would.
Mhm.
I play the Inuyasha PS2 game that no one else is playing, but like I love Inuyasha and I wanted to bring light to it. I played the Yu Yu Hakusho game, which was really bad, but it was funny content. That shit was so hard, like not even, it was unbalanced and shit. So stuff like that, I would say, has inspired me. Cause like I said, I come from a YouTuber background.
Yeah.
So like my mindset is like, oh, what would be a funny like video? And like the way I commentate and act comes from more of a YouTube standing. Like, oh, this would be a funny like moment for YouTube and stream. I guess maybe not all the time. It's more entertaining. Like when it's like a JRPG, I find it can kind of be a little dry at times, but I don't know. I still enjoy it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like I love Altair, the Altair series, which is mostly about crafting and exploring and finding new items to like get ahead in the game and stuff. I mean, they have another initial storyline, but initially it's just crafting stuff and being an alchemist and whatnot. And for the most part, I would think that's kind of boring, but for some reason, it's not in the game, and I just love it. And there's something about JRPGs that's just, you know, when they take you on this adventure, and this like that you control the narrative of what's going to happen. It's just fun for me, you know.
Yeah, and it's so fun to like watch that, especially since you're so passionate about playing them games, right?
Yeah.
Really nice to watch. Obviously, from this, obviously, I don't know if you get this question a lot, but what's your favorite anime? And do you get that question a lot, ever?
No, I mean, not all the time. I mean, I did at first, but not a lot.
Yeah.
But my favorite anime...
Really? Oh my god, I would expect you to get more questions like that, honestly, considering that you do play a lot of anime games, right?
Yes.
I would expect like that question be asked a lot more.
I think people don't initially ask it because I think a lot of people know what my favorite anime is because I kind of talk about it almost all the time, which I'm excited for it to come back, which it is in October. But my favorite anime is Bleach. It's always been Bleach. I love Bleach. It's such a fucking great, amazing anime. Every single character is great. It's such a cool story, a cool vibe. Ichigo is such a fucking Chad. I love him. And it's just this story that I just love and I fell in love with, and just the characters that it surrounds it, the music, and but the thing about Bleach is that, you know, even though it is part of the big three, it was the one big three that didn't really get a lot of love in the video game sphere. So I don't really have a lot of chances to play a lot of Bleach games. So I don't really get the chance to show how much I love Bleach, which is weird because my favorite anime is Bleach, but my favorite waifu or character comes from Re:Zero, which is Rem.
Really?
Which is my second favorite anime.
Yeah.
So like, it's like a weird thing because like with Rem, you don't need to watch Re:Zero to know why people love Rem.
Yeah.
Because she's just cute and adorable. She has merch everywhere. She has all kinds of stuff that I can collect. You know, I have a whole emote for Rem in my Twitch emotes and stuff. So like so people who knows that I love Rem or Chun-Li or Tifa, they always be like, you know, oh, you know, she likes Street Fighter, which I mean I like Street Fighter, but it's not my favorite games, I know. Yeah. But I love Chun-Li a lot. I love Tifa a lot. But yeah, Bleach is my favorite anime. And then Re:Zero. And then I wouldn't know after that, like initially. I like a lot of anime. I mean, I think if I really thought about it, I could make a list, but I feels like that would take too long.
True though, honestly.
But yeah, Bleach, I don't know, like I said, I don't know what it was about Bleach that initially made me love. Well, I guess the initial reason why I love it is because Johnny Unbash, who's the voice of Ichigo, I mean, I followed him for years, since like Trigun, since
really?
all Gun X Sword to Gurren Lagann and Power Rangers, where he first got to start. So like, when I heard that Johnny Unbash was going to be in Bleach, I initially just watched it for him. But
really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that's why I initially got into it. But when I like actually like just got into the show, and the characters and the vibe of the show and just like the exploring the powers and the Soul Reapers and all the other things that comes with Bleach. It's just something I love to this day. It's just so hype. And it did die out, which was very sad. It didn't get a lot of games. Only got like 2 official games in America.
Oh, really?
One for the Wii that wasn't really that good, and then one for a PS3 which was somewhat okay, but not really all that great. And then they had a lot of PSP games that never really came to the West. They had like 2 DS games, but no one really knows about them. But
oh, really?
And it kind of sucks because I play the games that's on PlayStation, so I can't play the ones that's on PSP. But I just haven't gotten to them yet. Because there's like so many of them.
Ooh, more anime content coming.
Very. But it's kind of hard though at the same time because I feel like initially, like there's so many goddamn anime games that it's hard when newer anime games come out. That I feels like I'm like stuck in this weird middle where I'm never finishing games. Like because I'm always trying to beat the backlog that I'm playing, but I never finish the new games that's coming out. If that makes sense.
No,
so
that does.
It's so very stressful for me because like I picked a subject of stuff that constantly comes out. So it's not like Pokemon where I know when Pokemon comes out, I can beat Pokemon and then wait for the next one, or Zelda or Mario or Sonic or something like that.
Yeah.
I picked the one subject that there's so many goddamn different ones, but I guess that's also how I am as a person. Like I just like the challenge of it. I like the thing that is different because not a lot of people do it. I mean, a lot of people play a lot of anime games, but I don't think they're trying to beat every single anime game on PlayStation.
Oh yeah, I think that's such a cool thing to know about you because obviously I don't know if you make it known that often, but I mean, do you make it known that often that you want to do that?
I do. For initially, like that's why a lot of the games that I play is all anime. Like, if you ever looked at my schedule, it's always like an anime type game. So like on Monday, I play Shantae, which is essentially, it's not really an anime, but it's anime inspired, and I love Shantae, and it gives me a chance to play it. And then like Tuesday, I play all my JRPG games, which we just finished. Cyber Dimension, which I'm super excited for, which was super hype. So now we can finally move on to a new JRPG this upcoming Tuesday. Wednesday it should be like a actual like license, like a One Piece and like Bleach or something like anime. But I think what I'm gonna be doing for Wednesday is doing new anime games. So like
that was cool though.
So when new games come out, I can play those alongside old games because I'm using Thursdays as a throwback Thursday anime type game. So that's where I'm playing Soul Eater. Yeah.
It's going to be so fun to see you change up your content and, to have hopefully more people come in and, ride with you and
Hopefully.
That would be really cool.
And then Fridays we do VR chat. So like only through like Monday through Thursdays I'm playing like anime type games.
Yeah.
And then Fridays always VR chat Fridays. So
Weesh, let's go.
Yeah.
So oh my god.
I want to try to initially like do more things because I realized that I don't make like nowadays, like I have to find a way to add in collabs with friends and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Because I haven't been doing a lot of collabs recently, and I want to change that. So like I feel like I haven't collabed with you on stream. Like I collabed with you with the podcast. I wouldn't really say collab, but like but I feel like I haven't like initially played a game with you in like forever.
It has been a while. Yeah, I'm gonna say it has been a hot minute.
It's been a very hot minute.
I think that it's gonna be a little bit hard since obviously. I think I don't know a lot of people know, but we're obviously going to be sorting out your, helping you out with
yes,
stuff to do with your debut. I'm not going to say anything just yet. I think it's all a secret. Hush it in your heart.
All secret.
I honestly can't wait for everyone to see what's going to be happening, and Kenty's gonna.
I just hope
Kenty's
that it turns out well. There's like
it's gonna be amazing.
There's other things that I am holding off telling you here that I've been working on because I'm always trying to do bigger and better things all the time. Yeah, I'm always inspired to do other things. I think I'm gonna tell you now that I finally officially got it set up. It's not like in the green light yet, but it is like set up. And I wanted to tell you about it. I'm going to tell you about it after stream. About the initial idea. But, so yeah, I'm always trying to do better things. I'm always trying to do big projects. I'm always trying to do more things with VTubers to expand the VTuber community and myself in the VTuber community. And, but yeah, just do me. Do my thing, but also expand everything else.
Yeah. Oh my God. I think that's all the questions we have. But I mean, Kenty, do you have anything that you want to let everyone know about? If you have anything going on currently, obviously you have your debut coming up. But is there anything else that you have that you want to let anyone know about?
One thing that you should be aware of is that on YouTube, even starting today, I am making more content exclusively for YouTube that I won't be streaming on Twitch. So if you want to see more content from me, follow my YouTube as well, because I'm trying very hard to make new and better content for my YouTube again. So there's that, and then there's a lot of big projects coming up soon that you should be aware of. So that's
exciting. I can't wait for everyone to see how much you're working so hard to get this debut done, or re-debut, sorry.
Yes.
And I can't wait for everyone to experience it and see it. I can't wait. I can't wait. So everyone, keep an eye out for, obviously there's not going to be a date just yet, but keep an eye out. Keep an eye out.
I'll let you know. The best way to know is to follow me on Twitter, which you can do at Kentina Star, or join my Discord, which is the Star Clan Discord, which you could just go to my Twitch and kind of get it. There's not really like a way to get it, the link either other way, but just go to my my Twitch, which is also Kentina Star. But other than that, yeah, just keep in the know-how, and I will let you guys know. I just hope everything goes well, because I'm doing so many things, and I want to do things for this rebrand and then moving forward. So I just hope everything goes well. That's all I'm hoping for.
I can't wait. I can't freaking wait. But if you guys have any other questions for us about what we've spoken about, obviously today, or if you do, about any other podcast, let us know. Literally just give us a tweet or a message on our Discords, and hopefully we can get back to you, and then we can speak about it maybe.
Also, you can message us on Twitter as well, because we do have a Twitter. So you can always message us on there if you have an idea or someone else you want us to interview for a deep dive. We would love to know. We would love to know. But
thank you everyone so much for listening today, and I really hope you enjoyed our deep dive with Kenty, and I hope you found out some stuff you haven't, found out before.
Yeah.
So thank you. Bye everyone. We will see you next week.